Hello, my name is Michael Tessler, and I am the author of Keys That Fit. In this video, I want to talk about one of the alternative standard keyboard sizes, the DS6.0 Standard. David Steinbuhler established several standard sizes that are named based on the width of an octave on that keyboard. In another video, I discussed the interval of an octave if you're not familiar with that. The width of an octave on the conventional keyboard is 6.5 inches, and David Steinbuhler named the conventional keyboard the DS6.5 standard size. The other common standard sizes are DS6.0, which has 6 inches per octave, and the DS5.5 and DS5.1 standards. By the way, DS does not stand for David Steinbuhler, as you might think. It stands for Donison Steinbuhler. Christopher Donison and David Steinbuhler together pioneered the development of alternative size keyboards in the effort to make them more widely available to the public. Today I want to focus on the DS6.0 standard, which Steinbuhler refers to as the universal size. The conventional piano keyboard at 6.5 inches per octave is optimized only for people who have very large hands. Only people with very large hands can play a complete repertoire of music without physical limitations and without any pain or strain. Rhonda Boyle and Erica Booker have conducted extensive research into hand spans, and they found that only 19% of adult men have hands that are considered very large. That means that the DS6.5, the conventional keyboard, is oversized for over 90% of the adult population and 100% of the child population up to a certain age. So how did this happen? Well, that's really for another video, or you can read more about that in my book. But in any case, it's clear that a slightly smaller size would be a much better default conventional size, which would better serve the majority of players. This is not a large decrease in width, just half an inch per octave, and those with smaller hands would still not be able to play a full repertoire of music. But the modest size reduction would significantly reduce the pain and the strain they feel when playing the music they are physically able to reach. Even people who are considered to have large hands, not very large, but still large in terms of playing the piano, would benefit. For example, I've seen several jazz pianists who have large hands struggle to play some of the larger 10th intervals, which are critical in jazz piano. They can play most of the 10ths, but when they play certain chords, they have to roll the 10th like this, for example, instead of being able to play it full on, they have to roll it. Or maybe they play it with the 9th included, so that their thumb can kind of just grab the two keys together. If they were to play on the DS6.0 size, it would eliminate all of those issues for them, because then they would effectively have very large hands. So there are benefits in the smaller size keyboard of the DS6.0 standard for both small-handed and large-handed players. But what about the very large-handed players? Would the narrow size create problems for their very large hands? Well, the reduction is really so small. It's actually, if you break it down in terms of just the white keys, it's less than 1/10 of an inch per white key, that most likely would not create problems for them. In fact, the size reduction is so minor that it takes no time whatsoever to adjust to it. I can tell you from personal experience firsthand, when you sit down to play a DS6.0 keyboard for the first time and you've only ever played a conventional keyboard, you just play it. It takes, you don't have to think about it. It takes no adjustment. What happens is everything is just a little bit more comfortable for you. It was an accident of history that resulted in the piano keyboard that we have today, which is optimized for very large-handed people, a significant minority of the population. Fortunately, the smaller DS standard sizes offer relief to the rest of us and allow us to play a full repertoire of music without pain. If this was interesting to you, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. You can also learn a lot more about narrower keyboards in my book. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.